People think of service as like this really submissive thing. I don't think it's that, actually. I think it's much more like, how do you empower your clients, and how are you willing to do that? So you're not enabling like this sort of helplessness.
We know that mobile optimization isn't just a nice to have, right? It's a must.
You're not done yet, right? You're not going to end this responsiveness portion and not talk about mobile view?
We should talk about mobile.
Give the people what they want.
Let's do it. Just jump through it.
I got you guys, don't worry.
Hello, entrepreneurs, designers, digital nomads, and business gurus. Welcome to Circle Live, our internet talk show just for Squarespace Circle members. I'm Sam Z, your Senior Community Events Manager.
And I'm Sarah G, team lead for the Circle program team. Last month, Sam, we threw our biggest party of the year, Circle Day.
What a day it was. I spent a lot of time with the folks online. Over 2,000 people joined us in the online chat that day.
That's amazing. And we got to meet so many of you in person.
If you couldn't make it in person or online, the videos of Circle Day are now live on our Squarespace Circle YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe.
And today we're revisiting some of our favorite moments of the year with special guests that we've invited as part of our community check-in.
It's kind of a best of, almost end of the year celebration sort of thing. But for now, let's move into this month's Release Notes Live. Every Monday, our Release Notes email goes out to Circle members containing information about all the product and community updates you need to run successful Squarespace businesses. And in every episode of Circle Live, we dig deep into one of the items from a recent Release Notes. Today's product deep dive is a very exciting feature announced at Circle Day which Circle Gold and Platinum partners can use right now. Let's have a look.
Hey Circle, hard to believe it's been over a month since Circle Day. Today I come with some good news though. We've just released support for custom font uploads, which finally lets you quickly upload and set your unique brand fonts without any custom CSS. This of course allows for brand consistency and an elevated typographic expression on your Squarespace sites. We also know it's something our international customers have been asking for quite some time. So let's see how it works. Now, right off the top, it's worth noting that you can use any OTF, TTF, WAF or WAF2 font file. Right now, on this Squarespace site, I'm using plain old Arial off of Google Fonts, but I want to give it a bit of an elevated look. So I'll use one of our brand fonts, Clark Sans Serif. Cool. So to access the new custom font upload experience, I simply head over to Site Styles, head over to the Fonts landing, where I'll then navigate to Headings, where, again, I want to update the Arial heading. Now, I can access the new custom font upload experience from any instance of the font family picker. In this particular case here, where Arial is selected, I can then enter that experience via the upload icon on the top right. Here is the upload font screen, where I'll then upload our Clark Sans Serif brand font. It's worth noting too that we support multi-select and drag and drop. So this is going to go ahead and process. It's going to clean up the metadata so that it shows up with the correct font family name, the style, and the weight. So let's go ahead and select our newly uploaded brand font, Clark Sans Serif, to our site. Voila, good to go. But let's say I want to give myself a bit of style variety. I want to include the italic style of this cut of Clark Sans Serif. So let's make our way back to the uploaded font screen. You'll see regular 400 previously uploaded. I want to go ahead and add that second style, serif italic here. Gonna go ahead and clean that up. And then it'll show up directly underneath Clark Sans Serif with the correct style and weight. So now simply click out of the font family picker because Clark Sans Serif was already selected. I'll then go over to style, where I'll then change it from normal to italic, that previously uploaded style. And that's it. Unique, elevated fonts on your Squarespace site without any custom CSS. I hope you enjoyed this quick demo. I can't wait to see what you do and hear how much time you've saved with custom fonts. I'll catch you all on the forum.
For the latest Circle news, Circle members can check out the link Ariana is sharing in the chat right now or in the show notes. And make sure to watch your email for more release notes. That voice you heard, of course, was Peter Rodriguez, and we'll be hearing from him later in the show today. That was such a great moment from Circle Day, watching people applaud for custom fonts. I don't know. It just brings me back. I think maybe we could take a moment. Circle Day is such an amazing experience. What were some of your favorite moments from, or one of your favorite moments from Circle Day, Sarah?
Absolutely. One of the things that we introduced in person for the first time was our breakout conversations, where we had 9 Circle members leading more intimate conversations with fellow attendees. And it was so cool just seeing people laugh. I know some people who attended Taylor Doe sessions said they left crying, parentheses, in a positive way. It's just so cool to see the impact that our community was able to have on one another. What was one of your favorite moments?
The impact is great. One of the moments that had an impact on me was watching in one of the offices at Squarespace. We had the online experience with the chat and all of our online MCs playing concurrently with what was happening live on stage. And after everything happened live on stage, our online MC, Becca Hartpain, just doing what she does to say goodbye to everybody, she brought out this surprise prop. It was a giant astronaut helmet. She put it on and she said goodbye to everybody. And I thought it was just so fun and goofy and exactly what this community can bring to the table.
Every big annual party has to have one astronaut.
Some surprise prop at least.
Yeah, I'm glad Brecca brought that for us.
But we're done with surprises. We're going to go back to the regular show. And right now, our next favorite segment, I'm going to hand it over to you, Sarah, for
a segment we call Circle Member Moments. We love hearing about your business wins, and every month we ask Circle Live viewers what their proudest moment was from the last month. Here are some of our favorite responses. Isaki H said, "My proudest win this month was publishing 2 of my website templates in the Squarekicker store as an official creator. It feels amazing to see my work live on their platform and available to help other designers build stunning websites."
Helping other designers. Love that spirit of community, Isaki. Vanessa B said, "I have had 4 international clients in the past couple of weeks."
Wow, getting out there. We love it. Ellen S said, "Just back from Circle Day. I'm feeling inspired."
And we're so glad you came for a visit, Ellen. Leah V said that they published 2 websites in one day.
That is crazy, and double the websites, double the fun. Classic phrase. David K said, "I assisted a nonprofit school in northern Malawi that required urgent assistance with launching a Squarespace website and implementing the ability to accept donations to support the children."
That is Websites for Good. Thanks for taking action, David. Karen G said, name you might recognize, said, "Built out a whole site within a site as I rode the train home from Circle Day."
Yes, you guessed it, Karen G. That's my mom. Great job, Mom. Brian S said they're releasing my first digital product on Squarespace, of course.
Digital congratulations to you, Brian. Must be so interesting having a mom who's a Circle member. I know we talked about it before on the show, but just what great access you have to instantaneous feedback.
What great access she has to phone support. The only Circle member who can receive it when she calls me on the phone and asks for help. But anyone who met her in person at Circle Day will know she's the first to tell you that she was building on Squarespace before I got my job here. So she's the OG. I'm not.
Oh, it's always lovely to see her. If you're in the audience today, Karen, thank you so much for your support all around. We have got a great lineup of guests today. Can't wait to bring them on. But before we do that, let's take a beat.
Keep it clapping, guys. On the count of 3, you're gonna go. Pets. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and
Pets, 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 pets.
very good. And over here, 1, meow, okay, meow. 1, 2, 3, and keep it clapping. Hey, hey. I want y'all to say pets, 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 pets. Bring the beat back. Pets, 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 pets.
That, of course, was Sung Beats, our surprise entertainment during Squarespace Circle Day. Just wanted to revisit that. It was one of my favorite moments of the day as well.
And we have Pet's vocal artist, Vic, in the chat with us right now.
That's wonderful. Vic,
Yeah.
you gave a stunning performance. Anybody who's asking in the chat, is this available for streaming? Yes, it is on the Circle YouTube channel. So go like, subscribe, give Sung Beats some love. Let's bring on our first special guest. You may know Sam Crawford from his Six Figure Design Club or his multiple appearances at Circle Day, for which he always appears in style. If you saw him in person, you saw his fabulous pea coat that he was wearing this year. Earlier this year, also, he made this buzzy LinkedIn post showing who comes up when he asked ChatGPT, who's the best Squarespace designer? So here it is. Could we get that LinkedIn post up on screen? I just want to see. This is apparently what happens when you ask ChatGPT who's the number one. So without further ado, here he is, the number one Squarespace designer. We got him, Sam Crawford.
I knew I was going to have to answer for that one day. Just didn't think it would be so public.
But you know, Sam, this actually is a really great conversation with everyone talking about AIO and how you rank. The first question I want to ask you for a community check-in today is, have you been able to maintain that ranking, and what's your secret?
So I think so. Depending on who's searching, you're probably going to get some different ideas. But I just tried it before I came on to make sure that, I'm not going to look stupid. And it still comes up with me. If you do like a Gemini AI overview, it should come up there as well. Now, the secret, I can't claim this. It's all SEO Space. They're the ones who do all my SEO. So if you want to try and beat me, just pay SEO Space a little bit more than I pay them, and then they'll probably put you top spot.
Okay. All right. I mean, I also imagine part of it ends up being you have so much content that's online. You have an entire community that you've built out of Six Figure Design Club, people who maybe they're not out there saying that you're the number one Squarespace designer, but they're out there extolling you and sharing your praises. And maybe one of the lessons here is that building a community is one of the ways to rank on AIO.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the key things that we've found is a lot of offsite SEO work tends to work really well for AI search. So if anyone is looking to do this, getting listed in articles, getting listed like on directories and listicles, that's been huge. A lot of external stuff as well as the internal stuff. We've been doing it for years. I think I've got about 600 blogs, 550-ish YouTube videos. So it builds like a reputation score, I guess. So that laid the foundations, and then all the other stuff on top helped us rank. Well, I'm going to say helped us rank at the top, but I'm assuming a few comments will come in saying like, hey, Sam, you're not top on mine. So, sorry.
I'm curious, Sam, with, we're talking about AIO, that's kind of like hot right now. I'm curious, given what I know to be the quantity at which you build Squarespace websites, if there's something new that you have learned recently that you could share with the audience today.
Yeah, 100%. The biggest thing that I've learned, or the biggest difference from me last year versus this year, is hiring of good talent, but also being a better manager. So for years, I was just a really bad, or I had a bad eye for talent, and then I was also really bad at managing. So I had to look a little bit introspectively, and I was like, okay, how do I make it so the people who I hire have a great time building, compensated fairly, and I'm able to brief them to produce their best work? And once I started looking at it through that lens, we were able to churn out way more sites at a way higher quality, and everyone stays happy. So I think that is my biggest achievement this year, is creating a team who they love working on things, as opposed to it just being a production line where everyone kind of hates it, but they're getting paid. So that's the main change, has been building the team, building a good team, and working on myself to be able to manage them better.
That is such an interesting change to share, Sam, because when we talked to you over a year ago at Circle Live, I remember one of the main points that you brought to the table was that you just love working alone. What do you think changed in you? What did you see? Was it really just about that productivity that you were looking for?
Yeah, this is the thing that I battle with this all the time. Like, I do love working on things and working on my own. And I teach people, I say, stay solo as long as humanly possible, because it's much less stress in the short term, and you can keep the vast majority of your profits. I just got to a threshold where I was like, okay, I build maybe 10, 15 sites per month alone, and I was like so close to burnout, and I thought, let me hire one person and see how that works out. And instead of it being a catastrophe, which had been in the past, it was actually quite nice. So he's actually here in the chat, Nick Croce. He was one of my students, and I was like, okay, I trust him, I'll hire him. And it went really well. And I was like, oh, this is the proof of concept that I need to maybe push this a bit further. And then it was just like this big snowball. Oh, I'll add a wireframe designer. I will add another developer, and then an SEO team. And then it just grows and grows and grows. And I'm growing with it, just in terms of how I manage things. Like, I'd never built a team before, so I'm learning things, lots of new things. What I would say is, it was really, really hard for like a full year. Now we're kind of over that threshold, and it's amazing. But there's this trade-off. I think if you can get to, I don't know, let's just give it an arbitrary figure, like 100, 150K a year, and you build a few sites a month, and you're happy with that, I don't think there's still any need to add any extra complexity into your life or into your business.
Because this is the community catch-up episode, one of my favorite community stories came from you, Sam, recently, when some of us were in London right after Circle Day, and we're out to dinner with you and Nick, and got to hear that. Well, do you want to share the story?
That we live in the same. Yeah, yeah. I didn't want to say anything. Didn't want to embarrass Nick on the stream. But yeah, so for those who don't know, Nick literally lives like 10 floors down from me in the same building. So we'll go down. We'll wake up at 6. Get to we call it the boardroom. It's just like the co-working area. We'll go down at like 6:30, and then we'll work on stuff. So it's just like, well, it's the most toxic work friendship relationship you could ever imagine, but it works. It's good.
He seems to have been a successful first hire, in that you were also able to develop a friendship, and you got a lot more than maybe you're paying him for. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, without sounding cliche, but it's been good. It's been good.
Before you go, Sam, we do have a question in the chat that I wonder if you could answer for. Julianne asked, I keep coming across business owners that come from outside website builders and prefer to stay with those builders. I'm just wondering, how are you finding clients that specifically want to use Squarespace?
I think there's more than a big enough market for Squarespace alone. I think, and one of the things I say to people is, don't niche any further. Like, don't be Squarespace for like a specific business type, but Squarespace as a niche is super, super broad. So I find people, they'll come through SEO and they'll come through LLMs now. I think the expert marketplace is, obviously everyone wants Squarespace. That is great if you can get on the expert marketplace. Upwork, you'll see like 10 jobs, 15 jobs a day for Squarespace. LinkedIn, people are looking for Squarespace folks. You also have to attract people. So you need to be talking about Squarespace all the time. You need to be saying why Squarespace is the best, how it stacks up against other platforms, and making sure people see why. Don't just leave it to chance. So there's loads of places where you can get it. Now, you don't have to battle against the other platforms, but you just have to put your case forward.
Put your case forward. I have one more question before you, and then we gotta move on with the show. But Sam, Squarespace expert, longtime Squarespace nicher. What's your best Squarespace or business tip that you can share in just a couple of sentences?
Oh my goodness. Become the expert, niche down into solely Squarespace, get as good as you can at that, and people will come.
That's beautiful. Sam, you're so stylish and so expert. Thank you for joining us on this little community catch-up.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
What a swell guy.
What a swell guy. Yeah.
So fun that you got to hang out with him in person twice this year.
I feel very fortunate for that opportunity. And I will tell you, just among friends, he was also dressed well at the dinner.
I'm not surprised
Incredibly consistent.
I'm not surprised at all. Well, all right. Our next special guest, you ready for this?
I am.
Our next special guest, Sarah and I met after she pitched us an idea for a Circle Live episode, and we brought her onto the show earlier this year. We loved our conversation with her so much that we had to get her back to see how things were running with her business since then. Before we bring her on, here's a clip from our conversation with Tanya, where we talked with her about bundling your products and leading with generosity when working with clients. I want to know, what kind of bundles are you offering, and how does bundling help with getting you more clients?
So I had a client come to me the other day and say, hey, we have this small asset company. We need a site for it. You've done other sites for us. Can you do the site? And so I immediately was like, well, tell me sort of like what's going on and where you're at with it. And he starts talking, right? And I start to learn that he's actually a professor at Boston University, and he has the reason for this asset is because it sort of plays into a bigger system that him and his family have. And so then we start thinking about, okay, well, what if we did thought leadership pieces? And what if we start doing content pieces? If we're going to do the site anyway, does it make sense to bundle that with actual content assets and writing? And I think that's always how you sort of grow a project. But yeah, those are two examples of actual products and then service products. People think of service as like this really submissive thing. I don't think it's that, actually. I think it's much more like, how do you empower your clients, and how are you willing to do that? So you're not enabling like this sort of helplessness. You're empowering them to make choices. And so if you come to it with that mentality of like, oh, I get to do this. And there's so many amazing reasons that we get to do this, right? There's the flexibility, there's like who you get to work with, there's like really cool tools that we're using. But I think when you approach it with that, it starts from a place of generosity. I'm a huge Seth Godin fan. I don't know if I can say that on here, but I am a huge Seth Godin fan. He is a virtual mentor. I have emailed him and we've spoken many times, but he sort of instilled in me this approach of generosity. And when you start from that, everything is better. Like literally everything is better. You care more, so empathy comes into place because you end up caring more. You really want to understand the problems that people have. I think it's so easy in the client services world to just be a taskmaster, and people are just sort of giving you tasks. But if you can have conversations and try to understand like what's really giving somebody a hard time, what do they really actually care about? What are they responsible for? What are they scared of? Like when you have those conversations, that's the human part that they're like, okay, this person gets me. And then like, it's not a sale. It's just like an easy choice, So I think that's the way to think about it. And I also think that's why it's so important to do work with people you love and help the people you love, because you cannot fake that.
And you can watch the full episode with Tanya on the Circle YouTube channel. Now I'm going to bring to the stage Tanya, joining us live. Tanya, welcome back to Circle Live.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. Sam, your outfit that day, just spot on.
I know. I don't know why I changed it.
Just keep coming back. I'm happy to be here with you and Sarah, though. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, we have more to talk about than clothes today and people's style. So Tanya, based off of just that clip, it's still on my mind. What are some of the conversations that you've been having with your clients since then?
Yeah, there's a ton of conversations. Definitely a lot around AI, and a lot of people asking me about content that they develop with AI, and can it be posted on the websites, and how are we using it? And honestly, for the thought leadership space, there's so much opportunity there to just help clients who are experts in their field first to develop that digital foundation. And a lot of times they're coming to us saying we want a presence. Then we're like, okay, you actually have to show your expertise. Can we start to develop content for you? And this sort of builds on, like we talked a little bit about bundling. This sort of builds on just really naturally, really organically. So we've definitely been having a lot of those conversations.
Love that.
Yeah.
Tanya, one of the things I loved, kind of circling back to Circle Day, was just how active and positive in the chat you were. I think our team was really grateful for that. I'm curious if you had any really big takeaways from Circle Day after being tuned in seemingly all day.
You were so tuned in. I just have to thank you
in.
for that again. It was amazing seeing your voice. Yeah, sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I honestly had such a great time. I was in London. It was like the first time that I hadn't gone to Circle Day, and honestly, the online chat was popping, and I had such a great time. Even just seeing sung beats like out of this world. But I mean, I was pumped for Finish Layer. It was amazing, and then Beacon AI. I think Squarespace is sort of leading the AIO space, and it has already been, the first that I've heard to develop that language. And so I think that's a really, powerful space to be in. I honestly had so much fun that day. I had a great time. I was like cooking all day with Circle Day in the back.
What's your secret to staying engaged with a long-running online event?
Make food. Just that's usually the way that I stick with anything. It's just if I'm also if I'm listening to a podcast and I'm also making food, this is just, it's habit stacking, as James Clear might say.
For sure. And I think, what your level of engagement with an online chat sort of reflects what you believe and what you teach about leading with empathy. I think a lot of times with an online chat, it's it's less about thinking what can I get out of this, but what am I sharing with other people? How can I share part of myself to be part of this experience? And then ultimately, I think this is true of any kind of experience, any kind of conference that we go to. You're sharing a part of yourself so that you can get something back. Just for people that may not know, could you share a little bit just about your Gecko model and how that really leads the way that you run your business and how you teach other people to run their businesses?
Yeah, definitely. So thanks for asking about that. Gecko is an acronym that I made up many years ago, and it stands for gratitude, empathy, care, kindness, and optimism. And it's essentially like if you were to build a values-driven business. So if you had the opportunity to design the same way you would instill it in a child, you could instill it in a business. And so that for me is how you design a values-driven business, is just decide the values that you're going to hold up. And for me, those 5 have made an incredible difference. And honestly, I think they just go together very well. And so to your point, Sam, it's like when you are participating even in something as simple as a chat, although I think this works for email as well. I think that's how you get a lot of business, actually, is if you do this via email as well. But even in a chat, thinking about what you are giving, not just in terms of what you're getting back, but understanding that you actually have influence in the experience of the space. And I think a lot of people underestimate that. They don't really either believe that they have that kind of influence. And I think it's better to err on the side that you do and be wrong about that than the other way around. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's really, really beautiful. And I feel like we talk so often on Circle Live just about how beautiful it is that this community prioritizes collaboration so much. And I feel like, you just continue to carry that torch forward in the chat and I know in your business as well. And yeah, we're all better for it.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges, though, in upholding that you've seen since talking to us? I mean, I think it's not easy for everybody.
Yeah. This year was incredibly difficult to maintain a spirit of generosity and empathy even care in moments, because I think the environment has been really tense, at least in the United States. I'm not going to lie to anybody. That was very hard. I left the country for a good reason for a while, and came back to it since. But I think just being very real with yourself on what you need. And I took walks every single day just to like regulate my nervous system, because there's a lot happening. That's just the truth. There's a lot happening. And so I think for me personally, I'll say that making sure that you're taken care of so that you could also be the support for others is just a priority. It's the most important thing you can do. Otherwise we'll all just sort of like wallow over and go on. So yeah, that was a challenge this year. It's still a challenge, but it's definitely gotten much better after taking some time for myself.
So good.
Yeah, you got to take care of yourself so you can help others.
Yeah,
that's true. Before you go, Tanya, I want to ask the same question. What is a Squarespace hack or a business tip that you can share with us in just a couple of sentences?
Ooh. Okay, well, this is going to be around getting clients, because I feel like people are always asking how you get clients. And so just to give you an idea of like how I think about this a little bit, is it's 2025. It's campaign season, so in the political space, and meaning in the local politics. And so there's actually lots of opportunity in the local political space to get long-term clients, because they're going to be campaigning for many, many months to another year. So if you're looking for retainer clients, I highly recommend to sort of step back and look at the market, see what's happening. And that is one of those things I think right now is happening, that there's just a ton of room to hop into and get business that way.
So smart.
So smart. Tanya, always a pleasure to have you in the audience. Thank you for your generosity. Always a pleasure to have you on the show and to have you back today. Best of luck with your business for the rest of the year and through the holiday season.
Thank you so much. Thanks both of you.
Bye.
2 great guests so far.
My heart is warm.
We know how to book them. We know how to keep the day going. We know how to keep the show warm. Just to pat ourselves in the back a little bit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, leading with humility. That wasn't in the get-go.
Number 1 Circle Live hosts. we share that title.
We'll ask ChatGPT later. Okay. But I'm sure it's true. We probably don't even need to verify it.
All right, you ready? Number 1 host for their next guests.
I am, fellow number 1 host, ready for our next guests, who might be number 1 beloved product managers.
They might be.
And designers.
They might just be. If you were at Circle Day in person or you joined Circle Day online, you saw 2 new stars born. Let's play this video.
We know the pros want a lot more control of how elements are positioned and how layouts are controlled. And we know that mobile optimization isn't just a nice to have, right? It's a must when building a website. So I'm going to walk you through some of these features. The first one is stacks. If you've used CSS Flexbox, you'll hit the ground running with stacks. If you haven't, the best way I like to think about stacks is that it's like sending your blocks to therapy. What do I mean by that? I think stacks gives blocks the tools to build healthy relationships with each other, establish boundaries, assert themselves. So let's look at these blocks. You've met blocks like these before. I know you have.
I hate when the text wraps into 2 lines with my buttons.
Exactly, yeah. Then one of them does it before the other one. Let's fix that. Let's get these 2 in a stack session. Boom. Now you can set a custom gap. Yeah, see? And now these 2 buttons, they retain their spacing. Wow, such healthy communication. So I've actually asked Pete to sort of clean up this section in the section below, and he's put it into 3 stacks, 1 top-level stack that's centered with this other right column stack. It's got so a lot of control, and you'll see that the responsiveness here will feel a lot different from the section above as I get smaller.
Get smaller. Keep going. Keep going.
Wow.
Guillermo, I mean it.
Thank you, Pete. So yeah, that's the intro to Stack. There's so much we can do. There's still so many things we're exploring, more controls, more flex properties. This is just the beginning for
Well, you're not done yet, right? You're not going to end this responsiveness portion and not talk about mobile view?
We should talk about mobile.
Give the people what they
want. Let's do it. Yes, I did say that mobile is important. I should not, just jump through it.
I got you guys, don't worry.
And if you want to hear and see more about mobile view, you will have to watch the rest of the video on our YouTube channel. But let's bring the fellas in right now to speak for what they did. Squarespace Senior Staff Product Designer Peter Rodriguez and Senior Product Manager Guillermo Suarez. Welcome to Circle Live.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for having us.
Such a pleasure. I want to say, before we even talk about the products, the thing that I think everybody was feeling in that room and even feeling online then and now is just the magnificent chemistry that you two have on stage. I was surprised to learn afterwards that this is the first time that you both had worked together in this way. Is that true?
That's correct. And it couldn't have been a smoother relationship. Much like the last two letters of our surnames, it was quite easy. Get it?
Wow, that is perfect. That is perfect. Did you just think of that just now?
3 minutes ago, and I slacked Guillermo. Let me take that one.
I'm glad you found a place to put that in. We love puns here on Circle Live. I mean, I want to know about how you developed this stage relationship with each other. You just kind of figured out that Guillermo was going to be kind of the straight man, and Peter, you were going to be on the side roasting him a little bit.
I like to think we took turns with those roles, but everything kind of naturally fit. I think there's a lot of like one-upsmanship throughout the prep process, whether it's like punching up some of our demo ideas or bits. We really supported each other when we had lingering thoughts of like, wouldn't it be funny if ... And there's a bit of an element of surprise too. There were things that I was going to throw Guillermo off guard with, which I think just kind of added for a dramatic and humorous effect. But what do you think, Guillermo?
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I feel like you and I just were in a room for like 2 weeks. It felt weird. After the presentation, coming to work was weird. I was like, what my day-to-day was just like jamming on this thing with Pete. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we would just come together and try different things out and just sort of seeing what stuck. And what was possible with the demo. Like there was a lot of technical complexity and design things that we had to figure out.
Oh, yeah. That whole ask was like, what, 3-4 weeks prior to Circle Day proper? And just thinking like all those features, yes, were like well into development, but never once were those features tested together in a staging environment. So there were so many things that could go wrong. If anything, our levity and humor kind of like gave us permission to be a little rough on the edges. God forbid the demo did crash. I think part of the vibe of the demo was let's just have some fun and see what we can do. So I think it just kind of all played into each other.
And there were a lot of people supporting that, like a lot of engineers helping make it possible.
Yes.
Pete also has a special skill, which is he charmed like every designer in like a 5-desk radius to work on this thing that wasn't even assigned on it. So that was extremely helpful. Yeah, it was really fun.
So charm can get you far. Being stuck in a room together for 4 weeks can make you best friends. I think we find that actually a lot with doing Circle Day. This is now our 4th time. When you're faced with a really tough task and you have a group of people who you're going to be working on this task with for we had a little bit longer than 4 weeks this year, but sometimes it's a shortened period of time or it feels much shorter. You're sort of like, well, these are my best friends now. These are the people that I have to depend upon. And it really sort of, it forces a little bit of like, either it's going to be chemistry or it's going to be a disaster.
Pressure makes diamonds.
I think
what
so.
What can we say?
So good.
Yeah.
We think a lot about that. Just even like the meta narrative of developing product, the power of forcing functions, sometimes man-made, and what the incentive structure was. So for here, the forcing function was the Circle Day demo itself. The incentive was, taking all these things we were so excited about building and just getting that all together so that we can get our audience hyped. Like, I think those two things together, the timing, the excitement, I think really worked in our favor.
Something I saw a lot in the chat was questions about whether either of you had or would consider pursuing a career in stand-up. Now feels like a good time to address that.
How's the 401k plan? I don't know.
Real. I'm curious, of everything that you demoed, what feature are you most excited to get into the hands of Circle members?
Ooh, Guillermo, you take that one first.
For me, I think it's definitely stacks. I just feel like it's such a powerful thing that's gonna give Circle a lot more control over layout in a way that I think we haven't had sort of such a nested system of control in Squarespace before. I think it's going to be really powerful. And then when you join it with all the other features, that's like that was really what we were trying to highlight in that presentation, is how advanced and incredible your website can become when all these things sort of get used in tandem. So I feel like stacks for me is like a huge foundational piece of that.
I would agree. Yeah. Like, what I love about stacks and the way it's currently being implemented is it's still very true to how Squarespace approaches web design. Fluid Engine is sort of like the simple Fisher Price like layout option. But if you need something more refined, fine-tuned, you can consent into that complexity via stacks. Progressive disclosure is like sort of a big UX UI mental model we try to strive for. That's why we usually lead with presets up front. I think of like Fluid Engine and all those little boxes as like 200 presets before you then get into fine-tuning with, say, stacks and whatnot. I'm sticking with my team as far as animations goes as like the singular thing that'll make you go, that's a Squarespace site. Just the amount of expressibility that's possible, even the tech behind it, like it's built off the Web Animations API. So for any nerds out there, it's native browser support right out the box. It loads quick, it's performant. You can stack animations very fluidly with the Web Animations API. So it's the hover and the growing and the moving all happening in concert with minimal hiccups. And again, because it's native to the browser, it's accessible as well. And you can feel pretty confident with what you're staging is what your users will see when they visit that site. And that's just finished layer animations. Like, we are already looking for ways to one up that animation system next year, which is currently in the works.
Question, maybe more for Guillermo, but Peter, obviously feel free to weigh in. Guillermo, I feel like we've worked together a lot over the years, and one thing that I think you've gotten really good at is communicating with Circle, knowing when to bring folks in, getting their feedback. I'm curious kind of what you've learned along the way about just like, I guess, best practices and the ways that like Circle feedback has kind of like shaped how you do product development at Squarespace.
Oh, that's such a good question. I mean, it's become really natural. I mean, I've just found it extremely useful. So I just selfishly, I feel like, want the feedback sooner and sooner and as early as possible. And as we're even thinking about new ideas, one of the first things we're talking about is like, how can we get Circle feedback as soon as possible? And sometimes that's a little tricky to get in the product because we have some foundational pieces to put in place first, et cetera. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it's kind of been born out of more like selfishness that like it really just is extremely valuable for us to involve Circle as much and as early as possible. So I think I've just found that as we've done releases, tests, etc., like we just always find use cases, gotchas, complexities that the Circle community finds like immediately, right? Like it would take us sometimes like so long to find out that this thing actually interacts strangely with like a piece of custom code or this exact setting or something in an old version of the site. Like Circle is just such a such an incredible resource to get that stuff early. So yeah, I think everybody at Squarespace should be doing that as much as possible, and we definitely try to encourage that.
Love it.
As part of your experience in talking to Circle, I just have a question that I think might be applicable to a lot of Circle members and talking to their clients. Peter, let's start with you. How do you handle difficult feedback?
I don't take myself seriously, but I do take the work seriously. I, as like a design owner and or lead, like I don't have a monopoly on good ideas. I think a good designer is a curator in many ways. So I like to listen more than I speak sometimes, and oftentimes it's willfully getting input from everyone who is interested and trying to piece together the most interesting and useful bits to create what it is we create. So I just think by design, I don't come into those dynamics assuming I have all the answers or I need to personally have all the answers. I think just being a really good listener and a curator can help, just psychologically receive that kind of feedback a little more egolessly. That's my take anyway.
Guillermo, you've got lost in thought.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. For me, I don't think there is difficult feedback. Like, I just think I love any feedback. I love when the forum gets extremely spicy. I feel like that's when you have like the most clarity, right? Like you've clearly hit a nerve and that's something you need to address. I find that like in product, like there's a lot of right answers to everything, right? And our job is just kind of to navigate that and to understand it. And I feel like I think somebody at Circle Day said this, like it's better when the forum is upset than if it was silent, right? Like if there was nothing in there.
Yes.
That would be a worse.
That's worse.
Much rather have.
That's right. That's like when my 1-year-old is quiet for like an hour plus, you start getting worried. Oh, I haven't heard from the baby in a couple of. Is he okay?
Totally eerie silence. You don't know what's going on in there. Yeah. All right. So listen more than talk, and embrace the spiciness. Really great advice for everybody working with clients. Peter, Guillermo, end of our conversation here today, but looking forward to seeing you more on the forum. And of course, always glad to see you in the office. Thanks for joining us at Circle Live today.
Yeah, our pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all.
Bye.
More great guests. Thank you to all of our special guests today. We want to thank all of you for an incredible year of Squarespace Circle.
And Sam, fortunately, the year isn't over yet.
Fortunately.
We have more updates to come in November and December, so watch the Circle dashboard and your inboxes.
Circle Live will be off for next month, but we'll be back, as always, in December to share with you our 2026 design trends. So sign up to watch that show now. That is all for today's show. Thanks for joining us live. Until next Circle Live, this is Sam Z.
And I'm Sarah G.
Reminding you that a website is like a costume party. You should never overthink the theme.
Bye, everybody.